There are currently 6 candidates vying for Charleston City Mayor, including our guest, attorney, law professor, and the first Black president of the Charleston Bar Association. We'd like to welcome Debra Gammons. Good to have you back.
Thank you.
So it's not an unusual path for an attorney to pursue political endeavors, but what was it about your particular journey that you were so interested in serving the city of Charleston?
I've been wanting to serve since I was a little girl. When I was 8 years old, I wanted to be president of the United States of America. I had no presidents in my family. I also wanted to be a lawyer. There were no lawyers in my family. And I wanted to serve. I wanted to make a difference, a positive difference. So I've always had that drive to help and to serve since I was little. And then growing up, going to high school, undergraduate school at the College of Charleston. I was president of student government at the College of Charleston, president of student bar and law school at Carolina, and just loved it. Loved serving, helping people, making a difference.
Yeah, and as someone with such an illustrious law career, and you've seen it all, also as a citizen of Charleston, where do you see the city succeeding? Where do you see it failing? And where do you think that you can apply your knowledge, your know-how in improving life for Charlestonians?
We're succeeding in bringing people here, and that's good because we want visitors and we want new residents. Where we're not doing well is with traffic. Where we're not doing well is over congestion and building. So those are some areas that I want to address and that I will address. Traffic calming, and also placing a moratorium on growth. We need to take a look at where we are when it comes to growth and buildings. We don't need 20-story buildings. We live in this historic city, our city. It's beautiful. Houses that have been here for 200 years should not be eclipsed by a 20-story building. Everybody should have a view of the Ashley River. Yeah. So that's where I want to make that difference. And then bringing diversity and inclusion into the office, making sure everybody has a seat at the table, and making sure that I listen to them. And that's what I'll do.
What about affordability, though? Because you talk about having opportunity in downtown Charleston with all the various, obviously hospitality is one thing, but how about getting outside of hospitality for a moment? How do you create that prosperity and that opportunity for people, but also affordability for people to live where they work?
We need a community and economic development office. And from my understanding, there's not one. So you work with those people, you work with all the communities, and I mentioned to you bringing people to the table from all areas of the city, bringing them to the table, what are your ideas, and also building these partnerships. They're private organizations who want to help with affordable housing. So we can connect with those organizations, with those companies, and allow everyone to share in this beautiful city.
The world is changing around us, and I think Charleston's done a very good job in maintaining safety for the most part, but we still hear of shootings happening off of King Street. We hear about violence happening in a place where it is historic and it's hallowed ground for a lot of people. So are we just looking at a new trend? How do we stem any of that violence really taking over like we've seen in other cities across the nation?
I don't think it's a trend. What's happening, a lot of people who did not grow up here are coming in, and they don't have our values, our neighborhood friendly, kind values. So we need to instill that pride in our residents and our visitors, let them know that. I love our police chief. I've spoken with him, and I've spoken with him about bringing back those foot patrols, having our officers out there walking the streets, not just King Street, but all over the city, and interacting with the community, interacting with children, talking with them, having more of our police officers on bicycles. And from my understanding, we're bringing back the horses, and I love that. That's a great connection. Everybody loves our horses.
Yes.
And so that would help with safety. And people know, all right, if I see something that looks out of place, I'm going to say something.
So that's really interesting because we're hearing, so let's take Chicago as an example. So they just elected a new mayor who has a history of decrying and wanting to defund the police as other mayors around the nation have done. You're taking a different approach. You're saying that you like to see more law enforcement.
Yes.
on our
Yes,
streets.
yes, more law enforcement. We've
How do you
seen,
attract people to law enforcement?
well, we have to increase the pay because they are putting their lives on the line every day. I have relatives who are in law enforcement, and they are risking their lives even for a simple traffic stop. So we have to increase that pay. What I love about Charleston is they also need a degree, and that makes a difference. When you have that person who's dedicated to safety, dedicated to making sure everyone is protected, it makes a difference, but we got to give them some incentive to do that, and maybe even more college.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've got till November for the election. We have many, many months, but I'm sure you've got a lot of campaigns coming up, a lot of campaign stops. So where should people go for more information if they also want to donate to your cause?
They need to go to the website, Debra Gammons for Mayor. Also send me a message, any ideas that they have. I would love for that, love to speak with them, and love them to join this campaign. I love our city. I love Charleston. It's paradise. So I'm the best mayor. I'm the best one.
Debra, thank you so much. We appreciate your time. We'll be back after this.